Four-man rush.
And
Rodgers to the end zone. And Wilson.
Oh, it was a flag.
And stay in bounds.
How in the
He
world?
was out.
Oh my gosh, there is another catch that could possibly rival OBJ's catch for the greatest catch of all time. This could be a talking point for generations. That catch was crazy. Some people think Wilson's catch wasn't even a catch, but hey, they counted it. But one man was required for both of these catches to be possible, hypothetically. Cowboys corner, Brandon Carr. Today's video is sponsored by nobody because I have 12 subs, so please like and subscribe. Please. Anyways, back to the video. Well, before we start, you need to understand one thing. It's known as the butterfly effect. It's the big old phenomenon, and I can bore you with a super long description of the butterfly effect, but instead I will shorten it for you. It's basically where because of this happening, then this happened. Then because that happened, then this happened. But what if this doesn't happen? And instead, this happens. And it shows how one small thing can have a very big outcome. Well, what does this have to do with Odell Beckham Jr.'s catch, Garrett Wilson's catch, and Brandon Carr? Well, you see, Brandon Carr played a pivotal role on the Dallas Cowboys in 2014. Leading up to that point, Brandon Carr was known as a very physical cornerback. That was something that followed him since college. He was known for his hitting and special ability to cover very talented receivers. However, you can see on this catch that the physicality of Brandon Carr does not help. It just adds to how iconic of a catch it was. Garrett Wilson claims he was at his family home in Texas when Odell Beckham Jr. made his catch. He was watching the game with his dad. Now, imagine all of the receivers ever since Odell Beckham Jr.'s catch who gained inspiration to be more like him. Kids who have the capability to one day make the NFL. Or you know what? Even kids who did not have the capability to one day make the NFL, who still wanted to go out, play with their friends, just like Odell did. However, hypothetically, what if Brandon Carr is not a very physical corner? What if Brandon Carr does not make the NFL because he's not as special of a corner, because he's not as good, because he's not as physical, and does not have the capability to defend as well? Well, then does another defender defend Odell Beckham on this catch? And if there's another defender defending him on this catch, is it possible that that defender deflects the ball? What if that defender's pass interference is way worse than Brandon Carr's was? What if that pass interference affects the catch so much that Odell is no longer capable of making this catch? There's so many different outcomes that are possible, just if it's not Brandon Carr. And what happens if Odell doesn't make this catch? How does that alter the future? How does that alter what happens to all of those kids who are watching that game? All of the kids who maybe weren't even watching the game, and one of their friends said, "Hey, did you see that catch?" And eventually they go and see it themselves. Now, what if all of those kids who were inspired go ahead and play a different position? All of these kids who wanted to go play wide receiver and go catch the ball like Odell no longer care. They decide they want to go play running back. Those kids decide they want to go play corner. What if they want to go play safety? There's all these other positions that they could want to go do. And what if they're not nearly as good at those positions? Well, what if they still want to be a receiver? They just don't want to catch the ball like how Odell did. Instead, they want to be an extremely fast receiver who just dusts everybody. What about all these different skills that they decide they want to follow? And what if some of them just aren't as good? That could affect who makes the NFL and who doesn't. This could lead to a whole new group of people in the NFL. imagine all of these people who were going to go ahead and play receiver now are the DBs of the league. You know, there could be a whole other group of people who wanted to play receiver, but they never made it because their spots were taken by someone else. Well, now those people were given the opportunity. Maybe today's receivers aren't even as good because all of the receivers who were so good went to play other positions. And now we have all these other receivers who weren't as good. Or maybe there's receivers who are even better, who just were not given the opportunity to play receiver yet. This could have such a huge impact on the game of football itself. Imagine all of these teams who wanted to go win Super Bowls because of their elite receivers. What about all of the teams that didn't because they didn't just quite have the receiver talent? All of the receiver pool is all flipped around and switched and everything's different. And in fact, maybe there's all of these defenders that are completely different, and teams who did win a Super Bowl because they had an insanely good defense don't win the Super Bowl anymore. And instead, another team that has an even better defense goes ahead and wins it all. What about outside the NFL and just football as a whole? How does this affect how certain kids play with their friends? How does this affect the certain memories you have of the sport itself? Are as many kids going out and deciding they want to run one-on-ones against their friends? I don't know. That could all be different. And the amount of opportunities where things could change all just because of one detail are insane. There's just so many different possibilities out there. So many different opportunities to change the outcome of history. Well, let's scale it back down all the way to Garrett Wilson. Is Garrett Wilson even the player in that moment who's playing receiver? Did he go on to play a different position? Did he play DB, safety, running back? Who knows what? Did he make it to the league? Who knows? There's so many different things that could have happened. And not even just him. Is he the one in that moment who's the defender? Is he a better defender and he stops the whole thing from happening, so this isn't even a debate going on right now? Is the defender worse so the catch isn't nearly as difficult? I could honestly just keep going on and on and on about all of these different outcomes. And they're all possible just if the situation was slightly different for Odell's catch. And the craziest part is, you know what? This is all hypothetical. And because this is hypothetical, everything could be completely different in that moment, in that situation, and Odell Beckham could still make the catch, and everything from there on out is the same exact thing. And you know what? The catch might not even count, and everything is the exact same. It's because this is all hypothetical. And you know what? Circling back to the beginning, that is the exact reason why Brandon Carr has to do with both of these catches, because everything could be completely altered just because of him. Everything could be so different. And you know what? That's the butterfly effect. Thank you for watching.